Hi guys, my name is Jennifer Knowles and I'm a body worker and energy intuitive, and I work in Longmont, Colorado. And my mission is to help sensitive souls, empaths, and highly sensitive people to be able to thrive in our world by being able to balance their nervous system and feeling like life isn't so challenging. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about the idea of feeling depleted. And some of the signs of being depleted are things like not feeling like you can get up in the morning, not wanting to get out of bed. Another sign of being depleted is feeling like you're a workaholic, like even though like we all have our jobs, right? Or we don't, but oftentimes, even when we're not working, we have this feeling that we should be working or that we're worrying about other people. And by worrying about other people, that can really deplete us. And so even when we're resting or we're on vacation or whatever, it can be really hard to let other people go and let their needs go, because many times empaths grew up in a situation where they were caring for someone else, and that's nice and all to care for someone else, but this kind of sets us up for this framework of everybody else's needs come before my needs. And so, before thinking about what do I want and need, we're thinking about, what our husband wants and needs, or what our parents want and need, or what our children want and need. And that can be problematic. Eventually, we start to become depleted energetically. And when we're depleted energetically, we become depleted physically too. It's just something to be aware of, is like, where is my energy going in the world? I have to be really careful of this. Like sometimes I'm sleeping and I can feel energies kind of like coming and going into my room, and I have to set a boundary with that and say, okay, I'm trying to sleep and I see you, I feel you, but right now is not the time. And I think one of the things is setting boundaries with ourselves as well as other people, because, other people are going to have their expectations of us, and we can either fulfill those expectations or not. But when you're an empath, you're designed to think about everybody else's needs first. And so I think ultimately setting a boundary with yourself around, I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to think about everybody else before myself. And it takes practice, like when you grow up in a household where you're thinking about somebody else's needs, maybe a parent or a sibling, then that's our go-to, is like, what does this person need? What does that person need? What does the world at large need? And in essence, we become depleted and we're not able to fully be ourselves in the world. The workaholic thing is big for me. Like, even if I'm not working, I'm working. Like, I'm thinking about everybody else and what they have to do and their doctor's appointments and their, soccer practice or whatever. It's like, we need to set a boundary with ourselves, with our thoughts. And sometimes this can also be passed down through a lineage. So like my parents were, my grandparents, great-grandparents were immigrants, So it's like not very close in my lineage that they were immigrants, but, there was hardship, and they had to move to this country and not know what they were going to find, and they had to survive. And so I think a lot of us are still living out, even, people who have immigrants even closer in their lineage. It's like this fight or flight thing, like, am I going to survive? I've got to work really hard, and when I work really hard, then things will happen. And, that's a great motto, but sometimes we're subconsciously living that out in our lives, and it's detrimental to us. We're like constantly thinking, oh, I'm going to work harder, I'm going to do this better, I'm going to be better, and there comes a point where that's not helpful anymore for us. I was reading this BBC article about the hidden stress that women take on. And a lot of my clients are women, and they come to me because, their energy body is clogged up with other people's energy. Their thought patterns are clogged up with other people and what's going on with them. And sometimes that can kind of turn into like a control thing. Like if I control my environment, then I'll be safe and then everything will be fine. But ultimately, we don't have control over everything. So it comes back to trying to let go and let things happen how they're going to happen, and trust spirit. One of the biggest things on my journey is being able to tap into spirit and get guidance from that. I'm not necessarily religious, but I'm a very spiritual person. And if I'm not listening to my body, then I can't hear spirit. So, recognizing when you're depleted is really important. What do I need in this moment, instead of like, what does somebody else need, your coworker or your boss or whomever, So, but it takes practice. It doesn't just happen overnight. So, one of the other things I just talked about was setting boundaries with yourself. That's really important because, you could say no to someone else. Well, I think first you need to set boundaries with yourself around caretaking and giving out your energy freely to other people who may or may not appreciate it. And when our cup is filled, then we're better able to help everybody. I mean, when we do what's right for us, then everything falls into place. And that's been a hard lesson for me. It's taken a while. But, it's a work in progress. And we need people who are empathic, who, care deeply for the world. Our world is in a weird place, and we need people like us to feel healthy, to feel like we're filled up, and that then we're able to do our best for humanity, really. Setting boundaries with ourselves, setting boundaries with other people. One of the things that I find is, as I'm setting more boundaries, I feel guilty about it. I'm like, oh man, I set that boundary, and then like, what does that person think about it? And that's depleting too. It's like, I set a boundary, let it go, just give it up. It's not, you're not supposed to just sit and lunch on it all day long. And one of the other things is accessing our anger. And when we start to listen to our bodies, then we feel safe, and then we're able to think like, oh, what do I like to do? We're able to be creative when we feel safe. We're able to experience joy when we feel safe. And when we listen to our bodies and pull our attention in, then, I'm doing it right now. Just putting my hand here, just really like listening to my heart. What does that need from me? It needs me to slow down. And that kind of moves me into the next thing around, I come in contact with so many women who are just going a million miles an hour, trying to give it their all, giving 150% every single day. And we just need to slow down. We need to realize that it's all going to be done in its own time. And we can't control that. And so our trying to control it all just expends so much energy. Also, I was talking about lineage messages, and I think sometimes we're handed something, right, through our genes or energetically from our lineage that is like a story. Like, you know, in my family, it's like things are hard. You know, it's hard. I've got to work harder to get this, whatever it is. And I think it's important to think about what is your lineage handing you and what is yours and what's not. Because sometimes we're just handed something and it's not even ours. So it's good to kind of discern between, you know, is this anxiety mine, or is this something that's like energetically or epigenetically passed down through my lineage, and I'm still living out those feelings in my body. And we have to be the ones to kind of break that chain and choose something different, you know. And one of the things I'm really big on is nervous system regulation, because when our nervous system is regulated, then we're able to make choices. We're able to act differently. We're able to not be in the fight, flight, freeze, fawn response. And that gives us freedom to be better people, be better us, you know, being better individuals. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here, guys. Talked about that. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is we don't owe everybody everything. Like, just take it back. And sometimes that's an ego thing. Like, oh, I'm going to fix this person. I'm going to help them. They need my help. You know, and ultimately that's taking away their power. Like, thinking of them as somebody who needs you to help them so that they can figure out what they need to do next. Like, oh, like we need to just pull it back. Like, what do I need to do? What is my part in this? What is ultimately best for me is best for everyone else. That's a hard lesson. And then being depleted energetically leads to being depleted physically. And so I was thinking I was going to do a little ground and fill for you guys today. This is something that I learned from a teacher of mine. Her name is Suzanne Skurlock. And she's got a book about managing your energetic body that I can post in the notes after this. But so you can, if you guys want to do it with me, you can just sit with your feet flat on the floor. And if it feels comfortable, close your eyes. And you can feel your bum on your chair, where it contacts your chair. And if it feels good, you can imagine that there are roots coming up through the bottoms of your feet, up from Mother Earth, keeping you grounded. And we're going to do 5 breaths. And you can imagine this energy any way you like, however it shows up for you. For me, the earth energy, the mother energy is green. So it's almost like this, almost like a neon green. So as I take we're going to do 5 breaths. As I take my first breath, I'm going to pull this energy up my legs, into my hips. And as you do that, you can let go of anything that doesn't serve you, any energy in your body that's not yours. The next breath, you're going to pull it up to your navel, up your legs, just like we did, pulling this energy up from Mother Earth. Filling yourself up with vital life force energy. And with the next breath, you're going to pull it up to your shoulders. Filling yourself up with the energy of Mother Earth. And the 4th breath is going to come up all the way to your heart space and then out your arms. Our arms and hands are our expression of creativity and love, coming from the heart space. And the fifth breath, we're going to pull it all the way up our legs, through our hips, up our navel, all the way up and out our arms, and then up our throat and out the top of our head. Just like a whale spout, and you can allow that light, that golden, well, at this point it feels golden to me, this light coming out of the top of your head and around your aura, allowing it to fill up your aura space with life force energy. I feel great. So yeah, that's an exercise you can do. It was a little extended version. You could do it, you know, it could only take a minute if you're having a conflict or feeling anxious. You can go to the bathroom and just kind of pull this energy up your body, filling yourself up, and so you don't feel so depleted. And as you exhale, you can let go of anything that doesn't serve you. So yeah, I think in the next coming weeks and months, I'm going to be offering some more things for you guys, for, you know, maybe a mini course, something like that. If you'd like my guided meditation, energetic clearing, you can comment energy in the notes and I will DM you with the link to that. And you can look forward to more things coming in the next couple months. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on, but don't do too much. Thank you all, and have a lovely day. Bye.